Welcome to the SPASA annual report for 2019. That fantastic time of year where we try and cram everything we did in 1 year into a very short presentation. And due to COVID, we're doing it both physically and virtually at our offices in Sydney and Adelaide, and also in the living room and offices and cars via Zoom. So it's our first time to do a hybrid model. We've streamed before, but never actually this way. The first slide, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping on the chat box. When you have a look at Zoom, you'll see at the bottom of your screen a little chat box button. If you click that, make sure you can click all panelists and attendees or just panelists, and that will allow you to talk to either Luke and Susie, two fantastic SPASA employees who are monitoring this as I present. If you want to have a specific conversation with us and post a question there, or if you want to talk to the whole group, including the panelists, then just do that drop-down box. Also, depending on the structure of how you've got Zoom set up, I may be in full screen mode on your screen. I would suggest making that smaller up the top and moving the presentation to the top right-hand corner. And that will allow you through this presentation to see all of the slides. So let's go. So we'd like to open the meeting today in the Adelaide office, and obviously streaming into the Sydney office, and then obviously to everybody out there in the virtual world. Confirming the administration of this annual general meeting has been allocated to myself by our fantastic chairman, Mr. Rob Kruger. Thank you very much. And a big thanks to everyone who's had the ability to attend. We don't have any apologies that have come through. We do have lots of proxies that have come through this year, which is thank you very much for that interaction. And I can confirm that based on the registrations, those of you who are online at the moment, and also the proxies, we have a quorum. And what that means in governance language means we have enough votes or have enough members attending for us to run an annual general meeting and have motions, etc. So this hybrid meetings means we will have votes that are on the screen or via proxy. So instead of just raising your hand physically like we would do in past meetings, there'll be a poll that comes up on your screen. And so we'll go through the votes, the motions early in the presentation. And then those motions, after the 3 motions, we will have a screen where you can pass your votes along. That will allow us during the overview and my speech, the ability for the team just to make sure and double check that all the votes received are valid from registered members. There's no double ups, allowing for the proxies, etc. And so therefore at the end, we can be absolutely 100% sure all governance items have been covered. So agenda. So this is the welcome. So welcome everyone. We'll do our 3 motions right up front. I'll do a brief item on the financials and then cover off and try and cover all of our annual report and everything we've done just in a handful of slides. You don't want to sit and listen to me for an hour, and you've had the opportunity to read the annual report, and it's also posted on our website. We'll introduce our new directors, and we'll cover off a couple of items on what to look forward to for the remainder of this year. And then we'll have an opportunity at the end for some general business. Any questions you want to post, the team here, and then we'll close the meeting. So moving on. Our first motion, our first item, so now that we've completed we know who's online, so we've got our registration of who's here and our proxies, apologies, etc. We can open the meeting with the first motion. Now the first motion is straight administration, the adoption of our minutes from the last AGM. Now the link to this was provided to you with all the registration emails, and the meeting was held on the 27th of May last year. And simply put, it was not dissimilar to this meeting where the annual report and the finances were put forward and they were passed by those attending. So all reports and SPASA submissions can be found on our website. And you can see on the screen where there's just a snapshot of our web page. If you just click the industry tab and click submissions, you'll see all of our submissions, whether that's a letter to the government or an annual report. And so a lot of the information is there for the future if you haven't got to it yet. So we have this motion is put forward by Troy Cartwright and seconded by Lindley Papineau. So we'll vote on that after the third motion is announced. So we'll move on to the second motion for today. The second motion is around our constitution. Now, this one's a little bit meatier, and why we've made a change to the Constitution. The current Constitution was accepted back in 2016, when we were still a federated model. And the primary objective of that organisation at the time was to merge the states together and create SPASA, as you all know and love it today. And we've made huge changes in those 3 years, but the first primary objective needs to be updated. So the first part of our constitutional amendment is in section 4, where we remove that objective to merge. All the other objectives remain the same. There's no changes to those because they cover the workings of the organisation, and our primary objective is to promote and grow. And as also since then, we've expanded into Northern Territory, into Tasmania, into New Zealand. We have members in every region across Australasia, and even a few overseas. So therefore, we have to ensure that that first objective is updated accordingly. There's a minor change to section 7.1, which is our definitions, and that just is to reflect our current bylaws, where instead of sector, we change to category, etc. So that's a minor change. And we want to make sure that our diversity policy, to ensure that there's no more than 3 directors from any one category, to ensure that we have a diverse range of skill set on the board, is reflected in those definitions. There's a minor change in 7.1. And remember, the current Constitution and the proposed have all been provided, and it can be found on our website. Section 16 changes that reflects best practice of what the Australian Institute of Company Directors, or the AICD, recommends on the best option for a board, and also in conjunction with the Association for Associations, which is the Association Forum, also recommends this, of us moving to a 9-person board with 5 elected and 4 appointed roles to meet our skills needs as well as our technical needs of our industry. So section 16, because it was written back in the old federated model days, has been updated to reflect what is best practice. And the motion for that, that has been motioned to be passed by Rob Kruber and seconded by Stefan Ossenberg, and you'll have a chance to vote on that particular motion in a moment. The third motion we have today is our annual report. So that includes our financial report, the CEO's comments, the chair's comments, the finance team's comments, and all the relevant documents in there. And again, you've all had a copy of that. Simply put, from a financials point of view, we report a net surplus of $69,000. Our net assets and equity is at $4.3 million. So it's great that the organisation continues to grow. And even as COVID was coming into existence at the end of the 2019 year, we allowed for some more potential bad debt and ensured that we are a little bit protected coming into this year as well. So we were a little bit below budget, but we still managed to highlight or to deliver a net surplus for the organisation. Our investment strategy saw the acquisition of the Pool and Spa media business. So a few years ago in 2017, we announced the purchase and acquisition of the Splash media business. This year, we had the opportunity to invest. We didn't have the big Splash Expo, which uses up a lot of resources. So it was really an investment year for 2019. So the Pool and Spa brand, the magazine, the digital portfolio that goes with that, all the materials and assets were purchased by SPASA. So we don't have 2 trade magazines. We've been merging since the purchase of that magazine from that brand into a consumer brand. So now Splash is our predominant trade brand for the media. SPASA is our advocacy and our association and member benefits owner and product in the middle. And then we have a Pool and Spa brand that sits aimed at the consumer, because a big part of our role is promote best practices and our members to the consumer. And we wanted to add some value to our already existing brand presence of the word Pool and Spa, as you can see with our expos and other items. And so the Pool and Spa media business that we've purchased will really add to that. It'll really come to the fore in 2020 and 2021. Further investments that happened this year was the investment to purchase a physical office, so bricks and mortar in South Australia. For just around 25 years, the South Australian office was a rented office of about 32 square metres. There were up to 5 of us in that space, which was a little bit fun for about 3 years. The opportunity came to purchase a larger and more traditional style office with this fantastic training room that we're presenting in today. That supports our members, although we're not using it a great deal during COVID. But we've got a fantastic space to improve our training for the local membership, and we have a boardroom and offices for our staff. And so to actually invest in bricks and mortar to protect the long-term vision and goals for our industry association and the members in South Australia, the purchase of that building was made late last year at the value of around $837,000. This adds to our portfolio of property, with the New South Wales office valued at $770,000. Last key item in the annual report, or the financial components, is around the training revenue. That grew by another 20% or 27% over 2018 figures, and also, more importantly, the number of students increased exponentially because of our different service offering. So training represented 14% of our total income last year. So it's a good, solid revenue stream, and it's really targeted at increasing professionals of our industry. So those are the key items from the annual report around the finances. And we have a motion for that annual report to be passed by Garth Jackson, our chair of our Financial Audit and Compliance Committee, and that's seconded by Adam Jaworski as well. So this is where we need some interaction from yourselves. So on your screen in a moment, here we go there. Excellent. Thank you, Luke. You'll see the voting pop up in a second. It will look not dissimilar to that screen that you can see. So you have the three motions. You can vote for and against. If you've already submitted a proxy form, please, if you've already submitted a proxy form, please don't vote. It takes a little longer to sort out if you have, and you double up those votes. So if you haven't supplied us a proxy form, please vote now for those three motions. So first, the adoption of the minutes, for or against. We've got those motions by Lindley, and I've forgotten the second person 3 slides ago. Then we've got the special resolution for the constitutional change. And then third, if you scroll down on your screen, you'll see the third motion there. So I'll just give it a minute for everyone to click those 3 buttons to vote for and against. Remember, if you've put a proxy form in, you've already voted, and therefore you don't need to vote again today. Okay, so that will stay on the screen until you voted, and once you have voted, you just close that screen. What we'll do is we'll come back to those results once they've been collated, and Luke and Susie, who do all the double checking and make sure they're all validated and compare them against the proxies, etc., and they'll come back to us when we have a result. Luke will post those results. So moving on. So if we can just close it on my screen too.
We'll just give that voting another couple of minutes. Lindsay, if you want to let me know,
sure.
We can turn it off.
Thanks, Luke. Okay, so if we can move just to the next screen from the voting point of view. Okay, so now that while you're all voting, I would like to do a special thanks. Because strategy is so important, but culture is even more important. Any of you that were listening in on our business class today, every Thursday, we do a free webinar around our business courses, and today's speaker was Spiros. And that Tuesday, that course on coming up on Tuesday is all about culture and strategy. And you can't have good strategy without great culture, and you can't have great culture without great leaders. And the people you see up on the screen today are some exceptional people that I've had the privilege to work with over the last 2 years. A special thanks to Neil Davey and John Daniel, Andrew Jakovic, Garth Jackson, and Elena Goss, who leave our board this year, knowing that they've provided their own unique and positive contribution to SPASA, not just its history and its achievements, but also helping shape the future. And I'd like to really take this opportunity to thank those directors who leave us this year. It's at this time we announce our new board of directors for 2020 and 2021 term, and we welcome 4 new faces. Joining us with the existing board, we have the opportunity to, sorry, my screen has gone. My screen has stopped. Give me a moment. IT, no matter how many times you touch it, it will change. So thank you very much. So joining our existing directors who are mid-term which is Rob Kruber from SPA Industries, Troy Cartwright from Paulworks, Lindley Papineau from Aquatic Leisure Technologies, Adam Jaworski, our independent director from the charity Outlook based in Victoria, Stefan Ossenberg from Protector Aluminium. We have our 4 new directors, Matt Galvin from Environ Pools up in Queensland, Jackie Patterson from Narellan Pools Waikato, our first Kiwi director, which is very exciting, and Steve Humphries from Focus Pool Products, and Tom Bodle from Sunbather. So it's a fantastic and diverse board. It's great to have the level of distinguished professionals who honour all of us by volunteering their time and expertise in leading the industry body. And I have the privilege as CEO and my team reporting to this group who reflect great diversity of our industry and to take our strategies to the next level. So again, thanks to our existing directors and thanks to our new directors and current directors who volunteer their time in supporting the industry. Further to supporting directors is around policy development. Policy development can't just be with a handful of people at the top. It's not how we work. How SPASA operates is it forms special interest groups, and these can last from a single meeting to many years depending on the item. Key regulatory, safety and commercial items happen almost daily that can either benefit the industry or be detrimental to our members' businesses. In the last 12 months or through the 2019 year, we had a massive uptake in special interest groups because we had some really significant interests that were affecting our industry. Fencing is one of the biggest ones. The 1926.1 standard really was going to affect and detrimentally affect our industry. Through a lot of hard work and fantastic effort by our COO, our Chief Operating Officer, Spiros Dasakis, who leads our advocacy, our representation pillar. He does a fantastic job in that way, running the workshops that went into every location around Australia to ensure that we had specific information delivered to our members and collected information from our members that we could put forward. Standards Australia acknowledged our support of this particular program, and it fundamentally changed the way that particular committee is working going forward because of those workshops and the interaction we had by our members. We exceeded 3,000 submissions from that public comment document, which is the single largest amount of submissions in Standards Australia history. And that gives us a really good feeling knowing how, one, important the issue is, but how engaged our members are. Beyond that, we brought all of the fiberglass manufacturers together. We formed a committee, promoted and lobbied for the acceptance of updating the standards for the 1838 and 39 standards, which is the manufacturing and installation of fiberglass pools. A pool heating group was formed with all the pool heating manufacturers. The Climate Care Certified program really hit its stride throughout the year. And there are many other things that have been done throughout the year that we've reported on through our communications. But we've had some great results with SA Water and Health, the QBCC, the VBA, WA Health, Sydney Water, and so many other standards. It's too numerous to mention. The amount of advocacy that's been able to be achieved through SPASA Australia is predominantly because of the hard work of Spiros Dasakis. We all assist Spiros where we can, but he is the lead when it comes to our representation pillar. And I take my hat off to my right hand. He is an exceptionally hard worker and does our industry proud. The next slide I want to move to is, I suppose, now that we've got our culture and strategy and where our policy development is created, which is basically from you, the members, our role as employees is to deliver those outcomes. The key objective, as per the Constitution you've just voted on, is simply put, promote and grow. There's a handful of it there, and there's 18 pages of fun and excitement that a Constitution is, but it really comes down to a single point of reference: promotion and growth of our industry. Now, how we deliver that as administrators, as dedicated staff for your benefit, are through 4 key pillars that directly affect you: people, representation, promotion, and member services. The 5th pillar that operates our organisation is around governance, corporate support, and a consistent improvement business model to ensure that we constantly grow those other pillars. People's pretty simple. Our job is to empower and develop our members. We want to make sure there's a constant improvement of skills and knowledge of our membership because we are an incredibly incredibly diverse group of skilled trades. We then want to promote, our second pillar, that group of professional trades to or delivering the products and services that give a health and wellness benefit to our community. We represent you, the members, and through that promotion, and advocate all the outcomes that are applied to that to both consumers and also government officials, whether that be local, national, or even global, through our alliance with the World Alliance of Pool and Spa Associations. And finally, member services, to promote and provide exclusive products and services, whether it's a Choose Your Pool and Spa magazine, a dedicated show aimed at consumers to increase the number of pools, or whether it's a certification model or a climate care model, or an awards program. All of these things are exclusive to our members to add value, to either improve cash flow, improve business, or add some promotion benefits. So that's how we deliver it. So how have we gone for 2019? If we try and combine the entire annual report and everything we've done for the last 12, 18 months into a couple of slides, if we look at membership and training, we must be doing something right, and a huge credit goes out to our fantastic host on the webinar, which is Luke Daly, and Rodney Smith, our key guys in the field, where we hired them 18 months ago and they had their first full calendar year in the field, and it resulted in more than 140 new members. That's a 17% attraction rate to our organisation. That's the largest intake of new members in the history of SPASA. And to reward that excellent effort, Luke Daly has been promoted to our sales and marketing manager, and I'm very confident, Luke, and the expansion of our field team over 2020 and 2021 will continue to result in more members, but the best part about it is in more engagement by our members in our services, which means they're using them and getting benefit from them. The in-field support is so important to us, and that is part of our strategy that was set by the board, is to constantly grow and get more benefits. It's hard to sit in an office and gain benefit. We want to make sure that you've all got the opportunity to see face-to-face an employee of SPASA as often as possible. So it's great to have our young gun Luke to be promoted to that role, and the team are completely behind you. The emphasis on creating our professional network, and we bring people in, huge credit can go to Peter and Nicole, our RTO team. They report directly to our COO, Spiros, and we have our complete separate organisation in New South Wales for our registered training organisation that delivers all of the SPASA training. We introduced over 2019 multiple trade certificates in landscaping, house building, and a variety of others. And we invested further into courses that are now available now in 2020. And it's an awful lot of hard work and an awful lot of administration and auditing, because we're audited by one of the regulators, ASQA. A huge kudos to Peter and Nick for making all that happen, and the entire team for presenting. We have not just the 4 or 5 trainers that are in-house, but a multitude of trainers that support us to keep going through that. Another shout out is to Susie Kent, who has been spectacular in the amount of communication, not just within training and helping us with all member inquiries. We've got fantastic support in administration with Melinda, with Sabrina, with Karen, and others who are various part-time or full-time employees or contractors who are helping us with our organisation to make sure that we can deliver a fantastic benefit to our members. The next slide talks about events and promotions, the big front of house item that so many of you utilise. The Leadership Convention in 2019 was a roaring success. We had 3 incredible world-class speakers. Matt Church headed up the day, one of the top 5 speakers, renowned globally. We followed that up with the Women in Leadership workshops and the coaching seminars from Ros Ronning, and anyone that went to those, they were truly exceptional. The pool expos were a huge success. The South Australian one expanded. The New South Wales one was sold out yet again, with fantastic data coming back in from those. 62% of consumers that came to that show purchased a pool or a spa within the 11 months before the next show. So, you know, the ROI on our shows are truly exceptional. And the best of all, a brand new show. So our first inaugural consumer show aimed at Kiwis. So in Auckland last year, in May, we delivered our first Pool and Spa show in New Zealand, and a fantastic success that was. And we were ready to go in July this year, and COVID's just pushed that out a little longer, and we'll have to do something different there. But it's great to have the Kiwis on board and supporting it, and for us to support them in the promotion and growth of that industry. Our awards, 50% growth on nominations, more new entrants than ever before. Queensland was a standout. We had about 35% new attendees, nominees, and people at the awards than prior year. That's 35% of people who had never been to an awards ceremony before. New businesses really embracing it. Now, all of our promotions and events and training and everything, it can't happen without our fantastic sponsors. And our sponsors aren't just, putting small amounts in and chipping in. They're helping with their staff, with their own conferences, with their support through their groups. And a huge shout out to Fluidra and Pentair, our platinum sponsors, and Hayward, our gold sponsor. So throughout the year, without those companies, our individual members, whether it's a single person certifier and service person or even a competitor, we can't deliver the services. We can't deliver all the benefits of SPASA to all of our members without the support of those key sponsors. Not just all the others you see on the screen from the awards, but those three in particular really went above and beyond to support the industry beyond their own brands. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank them. Excuse me for a minute. So, what's next? Just in those handful of slides, that just condenses an incredible year of consolidation, investment, and delivering new items. COVID changes things, but doesn't mean we stop. Good strategy, especially at a high level, doesn't change because of a challenge. Okay? If anything, it comes to the fore. Our key strategy, our key objective that you voted on is promotion and growth. Our role is to deliver promotion and growth of the industry. So our announcement of our roadmap of 25 by 2025, 25% industry growth by 2025 is still in play. And yes, we've had to change some tasks and change some operational matters. And I've got to admit, removing almost 2/3 of your revenue through events at the beginning of COVID does tend to shake up a business. But we've been able to change and swivel and make sure that we've got an opportunity to really promote. Splash specifically has been postponed. The biggest event in the Southern Hemisphere that supports our industry. 2018 was a record year. 2019, we announced the growth by more than 30%. So it's a quarter bigger at least, and so much more to offer. And a huge thanks to David Stennett, our media sales manager, who not only got the entire space sold out before COVID and continues to hold that for our supply members for next year, but has come up with a fantastic education program and support program for that item, and took on extra responsibility and helped us move into New Zealand during COVID and while everything else was going on. So COVID happens, but it doesn't mean we stop. It just means that we find new ways to support. And if any of you haven't seen the new video from David and Luke, when we combine them, we call them the Dukes. The video for the virtual awards of what's coming in a couple of months, because our role is to promote and grow the industry. So the awards is to show the consumer the plethora of choice that you, the members, offer them. Our job is to make sure that we get out to those consumers, and more than ever before, we're really happy with how those awards are going to be delivered. They're available for every location across Australia and New Zealand, with the Nationals being announced in August. So please look out. There's some great prizes attached to it. There's some great promotions around it. We're really looking forward to what you think of the awards this year. Rightio. So lobbying is the last item I want to talk through. At present is at an all-time high. Representation is our pillar, and lobbying and training are huge for us at the moment. Whether it's online in front of a screen or on the end of the phone, we are in front of politicians on a regular basis to try and make sure they understand that we are valued. It was very disappointing a couple of days ago to hear that the pool industry was segregated yet again. Several times this year, we've had to go up against head-to-head with other large associations that live in the construction field to compete with us, to try and keep our industry down, to try and not view our tradespeople as specialists. You have our commitment from the board, our strategy and staff that we will keep fighting as hard as practical and as hard as possible without breaking any governance laws, that our industry is a skilled trade and is a group of professionals and needs to be viewed as such. So even in a couple of hours' time, we're on the radio for the ABC really pushing the fact of this industry is full of professionals. We won't back down. It's that sort of strategy that doesn't change within COVID. Your input is vital for this combined success. So again, please keep the information coming, whether it's via phone, via email, or through the field staff. I'd like to thank and take this opportunity to thank my team, the sponsors, the directors, you, the members, and our business partners for what we've achieved over 2019 and what we have achieved thus far in 2020. So what I'd like to do is open now for general business and any questions. And if Luke and Susie could also share the results of the voting too as well, please. Whew. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, the adoption of the minutes has 100%, fantastic. The special resolution for the Constitution was also 100%, thank you very much. And, hang on, sorry, I just have to use a different screen to see that. I have to scroll down. And a further 100% for the annual report. So thank you very much for everyone who has listened to my rant for the last little while on this fantastic industry that I have the pleasure of leading. With the industry body. I couldn't be happy with how it's all gone and how you've all stepped up and supported us as we have tried to support you. So thank you very much. I can confirm based on that poll result and also all the proxies that we have that the 3 motions have passed. So in the chat box, if you have any questions, please post that. I'll hand over to Luke while I take another drink of water. If Luke, you can let me know of any particular questions while I open up the radio. So could you please speak up a bit? That was a little earlier. Okay. So if there are any questions, this is your opportunity to type any questions you have and ask. If not, you can always take a gracious leave. Thank you very much for your participation. All right. Do we have any questions from the floor?
Nothing coming through here.
Okay, I've got nothing in the South Australian office. Okay, at any one time, any of you have the opportunity to pick up the phone whenever you can and ask any questions. So we'll just stay on for another moment just to see if there's anything coming. Even if you have a question and it takes a long time to type, just press send and we'll at least know you're coming through with anything. It doesn't look like it. Okay, great. Thank you so much for all of the support and supporting all of my wonderful staff. We thank you, the members, for making our jobs fantastic and a lot of fun by delivering a happier, healthier community and having people swim more in more places, in more pools more often. So hopefully we can continue supplying the community a better life. Thank you very much. My name is Lindsay McGrath. I'm the CEO of SPASA.